Hey, yo, y'all hear that? So you mean to tell me y'all don't hear that? Well, riddle me this then. Listen up, I got a story to tell. Mr. If you know type shit. Back on the banger once again, going hard with no excuses, no white flags, no peace talk, no truces. So with that being said, y'all relax. Lay back in the Maybach. Put your mental on cruise control, and as always, watch me unload this fire, you under dig? So let's get right into the story. But hold up. If you're watching this video and you rock with your man 50 grand, I need you to hit that like button. Leave me a comment. Share the video. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. So put on your seatbelt and skirt. Let's rock the fuck out. Down there, Hayes State Prison. And me, myself, and I type shit, evil folks and Darkside, we just beat the brake shoes off this cat named Dog. And why did we do that? For two reasons. He was trying to slander my name. That's one. And you dig, Darkside just took his phone and he tried to come in there and he tried to squirrel my mans in them. And again, you know me, evil folks ain't gonna let it go down like that. So we just pop, 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 pop. All you can beat the dude in submission. You dig? So that's why Dog had got his ass whooped. Like he gossiping to cats from up north who I got loyal tied to, and my cats from the A, and you know they ain't play about your mans in them. And word got back to Darkside that he's gossiping and trying to slander my name. So I'm keep it real with y'all. When you get a job up front, you know, cats gonna look at you sideways. But being as I was an individual, I had social skills, I had people skills, and I know how to talk, you know what I mean? It wasn't enough for me to get a job, but let me let y'all know how I got the job. When I first got to Hayes, I seen a dude on the walk that I knew from another camp. So as soon as he see me, immediately he was like, hey bro, what's up, Ghost? I'm like, what up? He said, man, bro, you came out here to Hayes, this some real bullshit. He said, man, you gonna have to have a detail to move. He said the CERT team run the whole compound. You can't get nothing accomplished or nothing done if you ain't got no detail. So I'm like, shit, bro, what's the detail that's available right now? He said, look, you just can't get no detail. It's one dude who run all the details, and if you don't go through him, it's over with for you. You can't get one. So I'm like, shit, where you at? Put me in the right direction. He said, he about to come out the chemical room now. So I posted like a light pole, me and my mans and them, just small talking. So within about 10 minutes, little short, bald-headed redneck come out. So you know me, I'm never scared to approach a situation or a person, and I need to holler this cat. You know what I mean? You got the keys to the city. So I pull up on him respectfully. How you doing, sir? Blase this, blase that. They call me this, so on and so forth. I'm trying to get a detail, this, that, and the third. So he's looking at me up and down, you know. And again, when you pulling up on a correctional officer or a nurse or anybody, you got to come correct. You got to have your uniform together. It can't be wrinkled. You got to have your shoes or your boots tied. You got to have your hair right. Now, if you come up, your pants sagging, you flagging, you looking crazy, of course not. They ain't going to give you no detail. But like I said, when I put up on them, my shit was tight. Shirt buttoned up properly. I had my shirt ironed. They had the crease in my shirt and my pants. I had my boots on, so I looked like somebody. So I said what I said, and he eventually gave me the detail. But hold up, swole up. I ain't start out in the medical. For you to get in medical, that means you are a good inmate, quote unquote. I'm going to say that. So when he first gave me the job, he gave me a detail in education. I went from education to staff dining, from staff dining to medical. I was working my 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s. Like I said, you can't be no street dude or no hood individual come up here talking slang, and they're going to put you around these females. So every time they see me, like I said, I was very, very, very respectful. But guess what? You always got a hater somewhere hating. My homeboys almost got me exposed. I might be in front of the fucking office. I got these high yellow gloves on. They got me picking flowers. Can you believe that? Go hard picking flowers, but I gotta do what I got to do to get what I need to get. You dig? So while I'm out there picking flowers, guys I got loyal ties to, they walking by. Them like, yo, what up, bro, with the liquor? It was popping, nigga. I'm like, yo, hold up, swole up. You gonna expose the game, man. Y'all act like y'all don't know me. Speed on, keep going. And, you know, I really had to pull up on a lot of cats like, yo, when you see me up here around these folks, around administration, act like you don't know me. But as I said, you always got somebody somewhere whispering what they whispering at. And it was that dude, dog. So when it got back to Darkside, you know how we ride. He ain't gonna let nobody talk about his brother. You feel me? So he approached the cat, and that's the Fendi fact, and hit him with a 1-2 punch and ate the dude for lunch. Took his phone, and that was that. So let me get back to the motherfucking story. We just finished beating the brakes off dog. When the special team came through, he went in his room, and he act like, you know, he was asleep. He wasn't asleep. He almost got put to sleep because evil folks had him in the weaver like this, choking him out, no doubt. So now, after the inspection team finished, they left. So a couple of his homeboys, they pulled up to his room. So by this time, me, evil folks, Darkside, and a couple more guys we got loyal tie to, now I mean, we get on point. Now I mean, dudes go to grabbing they blades, go and get locks on the socks type shit. You know what I mean? Stay ready. You ain't got to get ready. We ain't going to let y'all bomb first. But as I said, when they put up on them, one of them put up on me. One of my cats from New York, like, yo, what up? Son, let me holler at you. So I'm like, what up? He said, damn, what's going on with the situation with dog? I said, yo, check this out, bro. I said, man, he violated me. I said, man, homie said something out of his mouth he should have said. He be like, what's that? He be like, yo, I just hollered at him and shit. He said, you know what I mean, your brother Darkside took his phone. Y'all just jumped on him. He said, man, come on, son, we ain't rocking like that. I said, man, look, bro, I got loyal. I said, yo, I rock with y'all, but these my guys I got loyal ties to and shit, feel me? And right or wrong, I'm going to ride with them. He said, I can respect that. He said, damn, but y'all going to take his phone? I'm like, bro, listen, it ain't no rules in war. Ain't nothing fair in war. When he said what he said about me, you feel me? That's why Darkside took his phone. He like, well, he telling me something else. I'm like, yo, what he telling you? He was like, man, he just said he mentioned your name to somebody would just talk. I said, see, that's where he wrong at. Why he got my name in his mouth in the first place? So he said, but let me finish telling you what he said. I'm like, what he say? Like, he was just talking about you saying you was up there in medical with him and shit, and sometimes you be not moving how you supposed to be moving. I'm like, what the fuck you mean? He be like, every time he trying to holler at a female, you be right there. I said, oh, yeah. Still, that's some hating shit to say, you feel me? I move how I move because I move how I move, you know what I mean? But I said, well, check this out. I said, yo, riddle me this. I said, first, he telling everybody or asking everybody, how did I get up here? But he working up here. So how did you get up here? I know how I got the job, you dig? So I said, look, bro, regardless of all that, I said he shouldn't have had my name in his mouth. I don't go around telling other cats, yo, what's up this cat dog, blah this, blah that. I let him do him, you feel me? He said, man, look, bro. He said, man, y'all don't give his phone back. I said, bro. I said, now don't keep it 100. If I'd have took his phone, maybe because he from up north, maybe I'd have given him his phone back. I said, but Darkside ain't gonna get it back, man. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. He said, man, you know there might be some problems. I said, well, shit, bro, there's gonna be some problems. Look, we don't need to keep talking. Let's just get this shot the way. So he looked at me. I looked at him. He walked off. He went back over to the dog room. I went over where my guys at. So as soon as I get over there, evil folks like, hey, yo, what's poppin', fam? With the liquor? What's up? What are you talking about? I said, man, that nigga ain't talking about shit. He said, man, I could tell by your body language he was saying something. I said, well, look, the main concern is they was like, Why we take his phone? He was like, shit, nigga. He said, well, we ain't take his phone. He said, bro, took his phone. But he said, what they talking about, man? Fuck that. I'm about to walk over there. I said, hold up, swole up. We ain't gotta do that. See, one thing about evil folks, man, he was TTG all day, man, trained to go. You got to know. And you ain't had to put no booster in his battery. He was already lit, already ready to go. It don't matter what the situation was. So a couple individuals, you know what I mean, that was standing over there, you know, they was older than us, you feel me? And they was like, man, y'all chill. We just got shook down by the tech squad, you know what I mean? We trying to get things back established. And they was right. You know, I had the keys. I ain't gonna say I had the keys to the city, but like I said, I had the pipeline coming through annex to population, but that had got knocked off. But guess what? I work in the medical and I'm around all these nurses, so you know eventually I'm gonna make some shake. So that was well enough reason to chill. But an OG dude like, man, look, bro, we just gonna see what they talking about. So we walked over there. Whew. It's about like 12 of us. They were like, shit, yo, what's up? Y'all, it's a problem? So they looking like, we kind of caught them off guard because they was really just going over to check on dog well-being, but we came on the war type shit. And they need to make their next move their best move. If y'all want to pop it off, we can pop it off right here. If not, y'all can leave that shit alone. Y'all tend to y'all man wounds, and we're going to go our separate ways. So one of the dudes from New York like, nah, saying that, yo, we ain't got no problem with just a shit. Know what I mean? Darkside took his phone and shit. So evil folk like, man, yo, fuck that, man. We ain't got to explain that stuff to y'all, man. Y'all already know this with us, man. Like, if there's a problem, let's go in and handle it right now. So they looked at us. We looked at them. So the police in the booth, they see what's going on. They came on the floor. So when they came on the floor, you know, we try to move in sides, keep the police out of our business, so everybody dispersed. So when dispersed, a little bit later, you know what I mean, we just, you know, on point. We on point in the shower. We on point going to chow. Like, you ain't gonna catch none of us slipping, man. That's what it was. So as time progressed, I heard him call Dog over the intercom telling him he needed to report to medical. So I know damn well he ain't about to go to medical like this. Like, again, he looked like Elephant Man because he got hit with a, oh, you getting boom, boom, it's over with. He got beat bad in the rooms, you dig? And I know he ain't in no shape to go to medical. If he go to medical, he gonna stay up in medical. So when they call him, he don't never, you know, go to the salad port. I mean, not salad port. He don't never go to the control room booth to see what they want. And they click on his door, click, 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 click. So I said, man, let me go over here. So I go over there and shit. I'm like, hey, dog, yo, they calling you in medical. He like, man, bro, you know I can't even go up there. He said, man, if they see me, bro, I'm going to the hole. So I said, what you want to tell him? He just said, man, ask him, can you cover for me for this shift right here? Oh, now you need me. Like, he knew if them folks come to a cell and the police see him, they're going to lock him down. But he got to go to detail or get somebody that work up there already to cover for him. So I'm like, all right, I'll cover for you. So I leave his room. I go to the booth. I tell the police, I said, man, look. I said, you know, he be having the migraine headaches, man. You dig? I said, shit, his head hurting real bad. He told me to cover for him. He said, well, let me call up there and verify that and make sure you can go up there. I'm like, all right. So I stood there. So for about 2 minutes, I probably went out, probably about like a minute. He like, all right. He said, you already ready to go? I'm like, yeah. So I said, let me run upstairs and get my ID. So I run upstairs, you dig, go get my ID, run back downstairs. Boom. When I leave out, guess what the search team at? They right there where, we don't call it the T, it's like, when you leave out your dorms, you got to walk this like long walk to get where everything be popping at. You got the laundry to the right, you got the store right here, and then you got the gym in the middle, then you got the kitchen, and then you got medical, and then you got staff dining. So they right there in the front, they like this. Like, they on everything. Everything moving. Like, you can't get away. There's no way you could go nowhere in Hayes without going past the cert team. If you try to go another direction, they're going to call that code and they're going to lock you up for trying to. So, every time I got to walk past them, I double check myself. I'll be pat my own self down. Because, like, you know, Benz, I smoke the Al Green now. I mean, I work my 1 and 2s. I might have a little this, a little bit that on me. I got to make sure I ain't slipping on my pimping or slacking on my macking. Let me pat myself down. So I double check my pocket. I hit my front pocket, back pocket. I check my socks, make sure I ain't got nothing. So when I get to the cert team, one of the cert team like, damn. He said, like, we ain't got to pat you down. He said, what was all that about? I said, man, I'm just making sure I have my all-match schedule on me. So for those that don't know what the all-match schedule is, basically your pass, your paperwork that lets you get to where you need to get to. So it was one new cert team member. He was in the stages basically getting trained. So he extra with it. What your all-match schedule? I'm like, hold up, swole up. I'm like, it's right here. So I pull it out. He snatched it out of my hand. And this the thing. The cert team, like I said, they see me every time I go to or from the work. It's just, this sucker duck, lame ass nigga, he knew, and he, you know what I mean, act like he got a point to prove. So like I said, I give him my schedule. I'm just standing there. I'm like, man, this lame ass nigga, man. Like, he trying to get some brownie points on me, but that ain't this and this ain't that. I know I could conduct myself, carry myself. I'm not gonna let you push no button on me to make me come out of character and I lose my job. So he's looking at the schedule. He said, he was like, this said you don't supposed to be to work until tomorrow in the morning or afternoon. He said, you going this third shift. So I had to explain to him, like, well, sir, I said, the individual that's assigned to go up here, I said, he's on bed rest and he got a headache, so he ain't gone. So the sergeant was standing right there, he confirmed, he was like, yeah, man, he said, we just came through inspection. He said, man, he good, man. He said, man, give the man's damn schedule. So he looked at me again, looking me up and down, you dig, but he eventually gave my schedule. So I go up there. So as soon as I get up there, you feel me, they had one doctor and they had 5 female nurses. The nurse that I was kicking it with, you feel me, she was in the back doing some paperwork or whatever. So when I get in there, well, when I get to medical, you know, you had a CO sitting in the front desk. So I get out. I know you see me. So she let me in. She said, what you doing up here? I said, and I told her the same thing. I let the cert team know. I'm like, look, man, old boy having migraine headaches and shit. He on bed rest. I came up here, you know what I mean, to tighten up a little bit for him. She said, okay. Pop the door. I got on there. So when I went in, I checked to my left. I checked to my right. And like I said, you got females working all up there. All of them friendly. Ain't none of them with the bullshit. They cool. Know what I mean? Hey, blase, squaze. Hey, squaze, blase. So, you know, I walked down a little walk. I'm like, yo, you need anything done in your office? Yeah, I need you to take the trash out. I need you to vacuum the floor. I need you to shred these papers. I'm like, okay, cool. So you already know while I'm in the room with them, I'm vacuuming. Yeah, I'm getting an eyeful. If you know type shit. And again, you know, I'm a man, you know what I mean? I'm locked up. I see a female, and she got a nice smelling fragrance, you know what I mean? I'm gonna get my sniff on, you dig? But anyway, after I leave her room, I leave her office, I go to the next office. Same thing. I'm extra friendly. Hey, how you doing? She like, hey, blase, squaze. I'm like, you need anything done, man? So, yeah, come on in. So I go in, like, what's up? She like, I need you to get those papers right there. I need you to shred those papers. I need you to go to the office. I need some trash bag. I need you to most definitely get that trash. I need you to vacuum the floor. I'm like, hold up, swole up. You need too much. So I'll go ahead and do as she asked me. You know what I mean? I'll take care of that. And I leave. I go to the other nurses, and they basically want me to do the same thing. And like, when you finish all that, I need you to buff the floor. The floor look kind of suspect. I'm like, all right, cool. So when I get down to Doc office, Doc down there doing what he do. Like, he was the only official doctor. Everybody was just a nurse. So right when I leave his office, the female that Dog was messing with, she called me. She said, Blase Squaze, come here. So I'm like, she a little snow bunny. I'm like, what's up? She said, where Blase at? Speaking of Dog. I said, oh shit, you probably gonna be seeing him for a couple of days. She's like, what's the matter? He all right? So I'm like, yeah, he all right, man. I'm like, I said, you know, he be having the migraine headaches, man. I'm like, he ain't feeling too good. So that's why they sent me up here. She said, okay. She said, well, tell him I said, hey. I'm like, yeah, I do. I'm like, you need anything? She was like, nah. So she's looking at me. And I could tell it's something extra she want to tell me. And she didn't know what I was doing up there, but it was a time, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna flex. I was sneaking and geeking. I'm on the phone talking to somebody, and she caught me on my phone. She could have banned my ass out, but she ain't banned me out. She just looked at me, and she was like, all right, you better put that up. She said, it's just a matter I was somebody else and walked up on you and seen the phone. I said, you right. So she already knew she was one up on me. So I'm looking at her, she looking, I'm like, I said, is something on your mind, something you want to tell me? She was like, yeah. She said, but if I say this, I don't want you to take it the wrong way. I'm like, what's up? She was like, I got something I need to get the Dog. So I'm like, oh. But now, y'all see how the game is? You hating on me, asking me how I got the job up here. But your people, you feel me, they just came to me, you feel me, and said they got something for you. So what y'all think I did? So let me tell you how it went down. So I'm like, shit, what you got for him? She just said, I got a little bit of food for him. So I'm like, man, hold up, swole up. I thought you had to pay that. Okay, you got a sandwich for the dude with. Okay, I'll give him the sandwich, you know what I mean? I said, no problem. So I get the sandwich, you know what I mean? I'm like, I get it to him. His fat wanted to eat. He wasn't trying to get no money, you know what I mean? So I get it. It was a Subway sandwich, you know what I mean? A foot long type shit. Parmesan and cheese. I'm like, and I knew it won't keep it 100. When I went in the little cut we'll be chilling at, I opened it up. Let me see what's in here. You talk a sandwich, you might have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But it was a sandwich, you dig. So I stayed up there for a minute, took care of my sign detail, and I left. Went back to the dorm. Guess what? Oh, y'all thought we were going to get his sandwich? The Dog? Stop it. You know what I mean? I called evil folks up, you know what I mean? Called Darkside. We went to my room. They came upstairs. I'm like, what's up, bro? I'm like, man, guess what? I don't keep it 100, man. You feel me? Like, when it come to my guys who I got loyal ties to, this just what it is. I'm like, man, y'all niggas hungry? So, evil folks like, man, bro, you know I stay hungry, man. I ain't go to chop, man. I'm hungry as hell, man. He's like, man, I'm about to go there. I said, nah, you about to hold up, swole up. You about to go to my side. I said, I got some for y'all. He said, bro, you smell like lettuce and tomatoes. I'm like, man, chill, man. I said, hey, Darkside, put the flap up. So they put the flap up. So y'all got to understand, in chain gang, only elite individuals get the free world food. When we get like a person will unalive you for a foot-long Subway sandwich. Like, you would get your eyes beaten and your teeth kicked out for something that's free world. So once Darkside put the flap up, I open the jacket. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, shh. I'm like, bro, the fuck? I said, man, ask me no question, I tell you no lies. But you know what I mean? My brothers already knew what was going on and shit. They know I was up there doing my thing or whatever. He was like, man, bro. He said, what the? I said, yo, bro. I said, there's some hot pastrami and cheese, extra lettuce, tomatoes, onions, vinegar, bell pepper, banana onions. They were like, man, hell yeah, come on with it, come on with it. So I said, man, y'all nigga wash your hands, bro. You know what I mean? So they go in the sink, they wash their hands or whatever. So I went in my lock a box. I had a little knife, you feel me? Even folks I said, man, put that shit up, man. He said, man, I got a nigga. I said, oh, I said, man, bro, wait a minute. I said, bro, did you stab somebody with a knife? He said, nah, bro, that's my new belt. I just made it. So he done took the blade. He done cut the sound with the knife. I said, bro, make sure you cut it even, Steven, man. We need a 6-piece type shit, you know what I mean? 2, 2, 2. So he cut the sandwich up. Man, listen, I ain't gonna flex. I was eating free world food though, you know what I mean? It wasn't, I ain't had no hot pastrami and cheese in a long time. I was eating little light shit. Man, when I bit into that sandwich, felt like I was making love. Damn! Hold up, swole up. And so, like I said, it was so good, man, because it's been a minute since I had a hot pastrami and cheese. So, Darkside and evil folks, they eating. They like, damn, bro, this shit good as a motherfucker. So, I'm like, man, bro, y'all just eat the sandwich, man. I said, we need to hurry up. Because I already know eventually, I'll run to the store, somebody will come knock on my door. I don't want nobody to interrupt the moment, you feel me? So, you know, me and my brother, we in there just tear this damn sandwich up, right? So, a little bit later on, you know what I mean, after we finish crushing the sandwich, you know what I mean, I go doing what I'm doing. Darkside, Darkside, he loved to play spades, man. And one thing about bruh, he was extra with the spades. He go down there when he, pow! Get like, look, you're gonna scare your opponent, man. Just play some regular spades. But y'all know how black people is, man. We do not know how to play spades without slamming the card. We got to make the game interesting. So anyway, Darkside, when was playing spades, evil folks, he on the yard playing basketball. But guess what? We ain't slipping. Like, you know what I mean? Evil folks never, he very, very, very rarely go somewhere and he ain't got that bone crusher on him. And Darkside, he was the same way. You feel me? And we've still been on point because we ain't know how the dudes that had low ties to dog felt, which we really didn't care, you feel me? But we weren't underestimating them. So, as the day continued, nightfall come. So, I was doing something, and Darkside like, yo, bro, hey, come here, fam. So I go over there. He said, hey, man, this chick just called from a restricted number. And I'm like, oh, yeah? I'm like, who was it? He like, man, some chick, I think she work here. Her voice sound familiar. I'm like, how you know? He said, man, bro, nigga, I done been in medical before. I know how they sound. So I'm like, what would she say? She was like, did I get that sandwich? But when she said it, she realized I wasn't who she was trying to talk to. So you already know, I had to tell him like, look, bro, that's probably the chick that I just got that damn sandwich from the sub from, man. I said, man, you know, the nigga dog was fuck with her. He was like, what? He said, man, fuck that nigga. He said, man, bro, I'm gonna take, he said, I took that nigga, he said, I got that nigga sandwich, whooped his ass, and I'm gonna take his bitch. I said, man, bro, he said, man, bro, you need to put in a word for me. I'm like, what? He said, man, bro, holla short in time, I'm trying to get at her. So y'all gotta look like this. I ain't got no loyalty to dog whatsoever. He already tried to slander my name, you feel me? So that's that. So this the perfect way to get my lick back, you know what I mean? And so one thing I know, you can beat a dude up, you can take his belongings, but when you go to messing with his females, you know it's a problem. So it's a problem. If you want a problem, we'll give you a problem. So I'm like, all right, say less. I said, look, tomorrow when I go up there, he said, man, I'm going to talk to her. I said, I'm going to talk to her and see what's what. He said, man, bro, do that for me. I'm like, man, bro, I got you. So the next day I went up there, same thing, you feel me? So this the thing, though. The next day come, when I was about to leave, I said, let me go check this nigga dog temperature. So I go to his cell. So he's looking at me. I'm looking at him. He was like, everything was good when you went to medical? I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't it be? So he's looking at me. He trying to size me up, you feel me? But I'm not giving him nothing. He was like, who was up there? Who was working up there? So I told him who was working up there. I said, old girl, she was working there. She was working there. Just let him give him the rundown, whatever. So like, his Blase squad was working. I'm like, oh yeah, she was working. And I'm just fucking with him, right? Because I said, oh yeah, she was working. So he looked at me. So I could tell he wanted to say something. So I'm like, shit, why you asking me who was working? He said, man, look, bro, I know we had our differences or whatever, man. He said, but look at me, bro. He said, man, y'all ain't had to do me like that. And don't keep it 100. He keeps saying, yeah, I might have hit the dude like 3-4 times, if that, you know what I mean? Even folks in Darkside the one did like that, but he already know these my guys I got loyal tied to, and you know, he know what's going on. He said, man, bro, look, I need that phone, bro. He said, man, I need to reach out and touch someone. I'm like, shit, bro. I'm like, your homies ain't got no phone? He was like, man, you know, they just shook down. Don't nobody got no phone here and shit. You feel me? I'm like, shh. He's like, man, bro. He said, man, I got to tell you something, bro. So I'm like, what you got to tell me? He said, man, you know old girl working medical? I'm like, which one? Then he told me. I'm like, y'all know her. I'm like, y'all seen when I went up there? He was like, yeah. He said, man, that's my chick. I said, oh, it is? I said, okay. He was like, man, she's supposed to bring me something. I'm like, shit, what she supposed to bring you? I want to see what are you going to tell me? And he exposed his hand. That's one thing you never do, man. You feel me? You don't expose your hand. Like, I'm not in your circle like that. But again, he couldn't go to medical and he was just too anxious to get his shit. He said, man, bro, she supposed to bring me a sub. Look at this cat. I'm like, man, you supposed to be getting the pack. You talk about a damn sub. I said, man, shit, bro. I'm like, you couldn't get it. You here, bro. I'm like, that's why you got to, you know what I mean? He said, man, bro, y'all jumped on me, bro. He said, man, I can't even go up there and, you know what I mean, work on 1 or 2. I said, man, what you want me to tell her? He said, man, just tell her to bring it tomorrow and give it to you. He said, huh? And he wrote me a little letter. Now, how foolish is you? Like, you already slandered my name, but he kind of kept saying he didn't do what he did as far as saying what he said as far as, he said he didn't say that, but it's too far gone now. We done beat you up, took your phone, and we took your damn foot-long sandwich. But again, he don't know none of that. He don't know about we got his sandwich. So I'm like, all right, I'll tell her. So when I went back up there, she was like, she looking at me. As soon as I come in, she on me. She says, come here. I go up to her. I'm like, what's up? She said, you get that sandwich to him? I said, look, shorty. I said, I'm going to be real with you. I'm like, nah, I ain't get it to him. I'm like, why you ain't get it to him? You ate it? I'm like, yeah, something like that. I said, look, I'm just going to just keep it real with you. I said, dog ain't in the picture no more. She started saying, what you mean he in the picture? I said, man, he ain't going to be here for much longer. They probably going to transfer him. So I'm just trying to get a reaction. See how she going to respond to what I'm saying. So she trying to gather thoughts like what I mean by that. But I had already formulated a plan in my mind because, you know, I'm going to tell y'all in a minute what happened though. So she looking at me, I'm looking at her. I said, they probably about to transfer me shit. I said, you know, he keep having these migraines and shit. They probably going to send him to Augusta and shit. He probably going to be gone for a minute. So I said, yo, but forget all that. I said, there's somebody want to holler at you. She said, who? She said, you trying to talk to me? I said, nah, it ain't me. Now, be mindful. This is a snow bunny. You know what I mean? So I know messing with these snow bunnies down here, man, if them folks find out, it don't matter, it could be a snow bunny or a black chick. They find out you messing with one of these females, your ass is grass, no homo. You gone. So I'm like, look, man. I said, one of my homeboys, they want to holler at you and shit, man. He said, what you mean want to holler at me? I said, man, he been up here a couple of times, and he said he like you. So she like, who it is? So I told her. So she like, huh? She said, hold up. So she get a little nurse medical book, and she flipping through the pages, and then she seen his name. So she was like, oh, he like me for real? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, hell yeah, like he told me to get you. She said, okay. She said, let me ask you a question. I'm like, damn, she want to ask a lot of damn questions. I'm like, what's up? She said, but I already know you cool or whatever, and you know I know how to keep my mouth closed. She said, because you know that time I seen you with that phone and shit, I ain't say nothing. I'm like, I'm glad you did. She said, I called dog phone last night, and I couldn't tell who was on the phone. I'm like, what you mean you couldn't tell? She said, when I called her, it was kind of late. It was like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and the voice that answered it, it was like a sleepy voice. And I'm like, well, what did he say? He was like, he really ain't say nothing, because when I realized it wasn't dog and shit, you feel me, I hung the phone up. I said, well, shit, he probably had one of his homeboys that, you know, had his phone. She said, you sure? I'm like, yeah, if he ain't had it, I'm like, that's how we doing the dorm. Like, a person ain't got no phone, you gonna let your homeboys, know what I mean, use the phone. She said, okay. She said, well, tell him I'm gonna try to call him again tonight. So I'm like, all right, now, y'all gotta be mindful. She don't even know me and dog, we arch enemies now. He done got beat up by two of my brothers, you know what I mean? The phone that got taken, and it's kind of heated in the air as far as the smoke in the air. So we small talk a little bit more. I left, cleaned the medical unit up, and I bounced. So when I get back to the dorm, immediately I go, hey, Darkside, look, I just told her about you, you know what I mean? Blah, this, blah, that. He's like, yo, what she say? What she say? I said, man, she said she gonna holler at you. That's all she told me. He was like, what you mean? I'm like, shit, you might have to go to medical. I said, man, 9 times 10, bro, she gonna call that phone again. I'm like, when she called that phone, I said, shit, you gonna have to goddamn, you know what I mean, go from there. He was like, all right, say less. So I'm like, man, look, bro, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Get what you need to do. We need to go ahead and get the nigga dog out the dormitory. He was like, shit, bro, you ain't said nothing. Get that nigga out the dorm right now. I said, hold up, swallow up. I said, we can't do it right now. I said, we're gonna wait till later on. So he was like, all right. So that night went by. I went in my room. You know what I mean? Did my thing, laid back in the mid-bag, got my phone out, did a little networking. Next day come. Doors pop. Boom. Darkside, the first nigga myself. Boom, boom. Hey, bro. He didn't even wait till I said come in. Knock. Boom, boom. And open the door. I'm like, damn, bro. He done started my room, and my roommate jump up. He thinking somebody run down the room and trying to rob us. But that ain't this and this ain't that. Ain't none of that going on. So I'm like, yo, roommate, yo, you good? I said, matter of fact, just get your ass up. So I said, get up, brush your teeth, wash your face, and you need to bounce. So he jumped up, got his he put his shoes on, and he went to road dog, and he didn't even brush his teeth, he ain't wash his face, he just was Viking, and he just left. I'm like, damn, you nasty ass motherfucker. So he leave. Darkside closed the door. He's like, hey, bro, boy, she called last night. I'm like, oh yeah? I'm like, what's up? He said, man, look, bro, that nigga dog got to go. I'm like, shit, bro, how you want to do it? He said, man, look, I'm about to put that nigga ass in the door, man. He going to go willingly or he going to go by force. It don't matter. So I'm like, shit, I'm like, that, what's up? He said, man, look, just chill. He said, put your phone up. Like, it really, like, I had a little jump. Man, it was like a jukebox phone, because when they shook down, they knocked off my main line. So this little phone right here, this really wasn't number little jump off or whatever. So I was like, man, put the little regular ass phone up. I said, bro, so you got jokes now. I said, you got your little nice phone, now my phone raggedy. Okay. So like, yo, put that shit up. So I put my phone up. So he went and got Evil Folks and one of the guys named Bullet. Them was his road dogs. Evil Folks and Bullet. One thing about it, if you gonna see Darkside and Evil Folks always together. If you see them with Bullet, 9 times out of 10, it's something going down. They probably might go take something. So I put my phone up. Next thing I know, I seen all three of them go in the dog room. Boom, 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 boom. Bitch, I nigga, get your ass in the door, nigga. Pack your shit. Boom, 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 boom. Beat dog ass. I said, when he came, look, he came out the cell, nothing but drawers on, barefooted. Run to the salad port. Guess who come behind him? Evil Folks come behind him with that chopper. Yeah, nigga, don't let us ask you again. He was like, shit, what's up? Anybody want the door? Anybody want it? I'm like, man, evil folk chill, man. I'm like this, man. Y'all, dog is leaving. I promise you. Don't know where else, don't want no smoke because they know how you rock. You know what I mean? But like I said, evil folks walking the tour, man. He at the Southport. Like, y'all already, the man wounds ain't healed from the last ass whooping. You dig? Now y'all done tapped him again, and he got to go. He going on the dough. So evil folks like, man, dog like, yo, son, yo, I don't want it, man. Like, I'm going, mom. I'm leaving. And guess what? When he said that shit, evil folk just put the blade up. And he just posted up by the phone, just stood there like this. So the police came, they were like, man, what the fuck happened? He like, man, bro, he told the police, man, I'm tired of this doing, man, just let me, I need to go lay down. Shit, you was already laying down, now you laying down for real. So, you know what I mean, they told him, man, come on. They cuffed him up, and they took his ass to the hole in his drawers, and that's it. I'm laughing this kind of look. I went in Darkside room. I'm looking out this window. That nigga going across the field, bloody, nothing but drawers and barefooted. You dig? So, until next story, until next journey, y'all know the motto. Everything real in the field, everything good in the hood. Salute. I appreciate y'all staying down, watching the video, man. Real rap.